DBR Investments, Algona, Florida Design, bringing you heat race number 1. We've got 3 of them here tonight for your IMCA Hobby Stocks. Grant Hoagland out of Wesley, the 11. On the inside of the first one, the outside of Jay Seidels, the 28 from Emmetsburg. Row number 2, Jade Lang, the 43 out of Humboldt. On the outside will be General Michael Avrans, the 01 out of Burt. Row number 3, James Burns out of Algona, the 27X. On the outside, it is Wade Gilland out of Callender, Iowa, in the 21W. Daniel Smith, the 88 out of Lake City's on the inside of the 4th row, and Nathan Ashe out of Armstrong in the 76A. Your scheduled starters here tonight. 8 laps, the scheduled distance. Looks like caution lights will remain on here for a moment. Looking at the calendar, next Thursday will be the Bex Hybrids Stock Car Special. I believe that is a 1,000 to win show. Then we have the IMCA Race Saver Sprints, the 305s here on June 12th. The Bumblebee Nationals will be June 26th. American-made late models, they'll race for a little more cash on July 3rd. The Brady Becker Memorial is July 10th. The Jess Weishauer Memorial, the Hobby Stock Special, is July 17th. Salute to Veterans, night number 2 of that will be July 24th. The Denny Hovengay and Gary Harkin Memorial, that'll be the Thursday night fair races on July 31st. Then the Shot Center Memorial Driver Appreciation, the Jake Long Memorial to wrap things up. June 19th is when we rescheduled our Fan Appreciation Night. More details forthcoming on it as we come to the green flag. IMC Hobby Stock Heat Race number 1 is underway. We are 3 deep going to turn number 1. And Jay Seidels picking his way to the top spot. Jade Lang right in the hip pocket of the back straightaway. Burnsy in 3rd. Grant Hoagland climbing the ladder there and the top of turn number 4, General Micah and Daniel Smith all in the mix here on lap number 1. Early leader in this one is Jay Seidels, but here comes Jade Lang around the outside. Lang got him that time here on the north side. So Lang, big move through turns 3 and 4. Capturing the top spot. Now James Burns lurking to the inside. So Jay Seidels in 2nd, James Burns 3rd. General Mike in that 4th spot. Daniel Smith continues to complete the top 5. Boy, once Jade Lang figured out there was a top side, the driver out of Humboldt right around the cushion there and made things happen, pulling away here towards the late stages of heat race number 1. James Burns in the top 2, General Mike in a 3rd, Jay Seidels losing, well, a couple of spots and may lose another one as Daniel Smith out of Lake City in the 88 lurking in close proximity. And how about the battle between General Micah to the inside in the orange 01 and score him to the top 2. James Burns losing a little bit of ground there to Micah. Micah starting in the 4th spot has picked up a couple of spots up into the top 2. Jade Lang in command. We come to 2 to go. White flag in the front straightaway. Jade Lang by Well, let's just call it a straightaway. Is Micah second. James Burns in that second position. Kind of took a big swing there through turns 1 and 2, and he's going to lose a ton of ground on the back straightaway. Jade Lang started third, will win it here as Jade Lang will dominate. Heat race number 1 for your IMCA Hobby Stocks. Micah, Burnsy, and Daniel Smith, the rest of the top 4. Sportsman's Corner and Custom Concrete. Bringing heat race number 2 in the Hobby Stocks be Drew Bargloff, the 45, out of Sioux Rapids. On the outside, Nash Palmer, the 17, out of Renwick. Row number 2 is Dan Hanselman from Algona, the 98. On the outside, it's a T1M of Tim Seidels out of Emmitsburg. Brandon Scher, the 27, out of Garner's on the inside of the third row. Alongside is Josh Seidels, the 99X. He's from Emmitsburg, and from Rolfe, the 00 of Cody Hubble, the final starter in heat race number 2. Well, nachos with meat look to be pretty tasty here tonight, as that's made its way up here to the top of the grandstand. Fruit cups, cotton candy, Laffy Taffy, pulled pork, hot dogs, all kinds of a selection down at the concession stand. If you haven't had a chance to grab something to eat here tonight, along with ice-cold beverages and Jell-O shots. What flavor do you have there? And you have no idea. You just said, give me a Jell-O shot, and you took one. You'll get me one? Yeah, okay, whatever works. You are of age, right? Okay, just making sure. I mean, we do ID on the Jell-O shots too, right? Absolutely. So Timmy Seidels to the outside. Leading down the back straightaway. Dan Hanselman to third. He's got Josh Seidels behind him, all inside the top 4. Timmy Seidels leading the way. Bargloff in second. Then Hanselman, Seidels, Hubble. Then Brandon Scher and Nash Palmer. The running order down the back straightaway. Boy, she's a pretty sporty heat race number 2. Amongst the top 3 or so, Tim Seidels will gas it up to the back straightaway. The T1M out of Emmitsburg, able to pull away a bit on Bargloff. Drew Bargloff out of Sioux Rapids in the 45, started on row number 1 with a good entry here tonight. Dan Hanselman pulling away. A little bit on Josh Seidels, all inside the top 4. 5th is Hubble, but Brandon Scher going to have something to say here on the back straightaway. So change for position in the back half of this one. The front half still plenty competitive as we work our way. In IMCA Hobby Stock Heat Race number 2, Tim Seidels, Drew Bargloff, Dan Hanselman, the top 3 that have legged it out here a bit on Josh Seidels in that 4th spot. Well, how about Dan Hanselman coming to call and got him that time coming out of turn number 2. A sporty Dan Hanselman here tonight. A winner across multiple divisions, the Kossuth County Speedway over his career. Has raced his way up into the top 2. And he sets his sights on Timmy Seidels on the back straightaway. Seidels, Hanselman, 1 and 2. Seidel's going to glide to the top of turn number 4. Hanselman going to test the inside with 1 to go. So Dan Hanselman from row number 2. I think he might have slipped back to about the 4th spot in the early stages of this one. And it is Hanselman posting the heat race win. Timmy Seidels, Drew Bargloff, and Josh Seidels will complete the top 4. Klein Insurance, Central Financial Group, and my mom and dad bringing you heat race number 3. How about that? They're hanging back VIP side. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. It is Trevor Iverson, the 9, out of Welcome, Minnesota. On the inside of the first row, on the outside is Blaine Smith from Lake City, the 35. Row number 2, Steve Wickman, the 48 out of Emmitsburg. And then Doug Wickman from Algona, the 248, will start 4th. Row number 3, Chris Krug, the 91 out of Emmitsburg. And then Brandon Nielsen, the T8 from Spencer, starting 6th. And Dylan Fitzpatrick out of Esterville in the 82, starting 7th, your final starter. In your final IMCA Hobby Stock heat race here tonight. Beck's Hybrid Stock Car Special next week. IMCA Race Saver 305 Sprints will be the week after. So Iverson on the inside of the first row. Good to have Blaine Smith back with us. If I remember right, on night number 1, he was upside down here at the Speedway, and what was a tough deal here on the front straightaway. So good to have Blaine back with us here in the 35. He's on row number 1. A pair of Wickman's row number 2. And Logan Kelly with the green flag out. And look out, we got Trevor Iverson slipping down to the inside, but we stay under green. Steve Wickman from the inside of row number 2 flashes the inside. Blaine Smith here through the north side of the Speedway. Don't look now. Brandon Nielsen up into the top 3. I think I got my Wickmans mixed up. I apologize. That's Doug Wickman down the back straightaway in the 248. Now Nielsen to second, and here comes Fitzpatrick in the 82. Fitzpatrick started shotgun on the field, and the 82 is now up into the top 3. Well, so the team cars will bookend the top 5. Steve Wickman was 5th. It is Doug Wickman leading down the back straightaway. Then Nielsen, Fitzpatrick, Blaine Smith, Steve Wickman to the inside of the 35. Chris Krug, the 91, the Clocky Motorsports Seidels Racing entry, able to pick up a position there out of turn number 2. And the grocery getter going to look to the outside, going to dive down to the inside in the 91. And couldn't hold the lane there on the inside. And he will stay in lockstep with the 35 of Blaine Smith. But meanwhile, down the back straightaway, the top 3 have separated themselves from the rest of the field. And Dylan Fitzpatrick, the 82, giving Brandon Nielsen all he wants right now. And Fitzpatrick, how about that? Jumping right up into the top 2, putting Nielsen back a position here with 2 to go. Getting right down to it, top three. Pulled away from the rest of the field. Now Chris Krug up into the top four, and we got the white flag on the front straightaway. Doug Wickman, the 248. In command. Fitzpatrick from the tail, as we said, was alone in row number 4 in the 82, and Fitzpatrick is closing ground on Doug Wickman here in the late stages. Watch this out of turn number 4. Checkers in the front straightaway. Wickman will hold him off. Fitzpatrick second. Nielsen will complete the top 3. Chris Krug will finish in the 4th spot. IMCA Modifieds have one heat race here tonight, brought to you by DBR Investments as we turn the page and punch up the lineup for your IMCA Modifieds here tonight. They will line up just like this. Cody Connect, the 49K out of Whittemore, is on the inside of the first row. Jason Bass, the 4 out of Fort Dodge, will start second. Kelly Schrock will start on the inside of row number 2. And Nick Meyer, the 2 car out of Whittemore. I want to give a tip of the cap to Kevin Long, and we had Mark Erpelding out here a couple of weekends ago, and Mark in the grader and spent some time on the Speedway, and we appreciate Mark stepping in and helping out to get some things a little more squared away here in the corners of the Speedway. Track left in kind of a difficult spot. The individual that was going to do track prep, well, has opted to not do track prep. And appreciate Mark coming in and helping out on a weekend. And obviously Kevin Long, and I'm guessing there might be some others that have helped out, and at least so far, much better here tonight. We appreciate those that provided those efforts. 4 cars, Connect, Bass, Schrack, and Meyer in your IMCA Modifieds. Jason Bass, the leader. Nick Meyer, the winner on night number 2 here at the Thunderdome. And that spec engine of Nick Meyer got a little oop-to-doom tour here tonight, as they got that car a little more figured out a couple of weeks ago. And Meyer, your new leader here on the back straightaway. Of course, the spec engine either built off of a 604 crate short block or built from scratch. Running a 2-inch spoiler leading the way. I think everybody else is on a crate package, but I could be wrong. I didn't get around and check everybody else out, but I do know Meyer on the spec engine package. And that thing was humming 1 week ago, and well, she ain't lost a step here tonight as Nick Meyer pulling away down the back straightaway. Jason Bass in the 4 sits in second. Cody Connect started on row number 1, has slipped back into the 3rd position, and Kelly Schrack rounding out your 4-car running order in your IMCA Modifieds. Three laps remaining in this one. The Dean Meyer Electric, McClurg Restoration, Clocky Motorsports number 2 on the hammer. And, well, Jason Bass by 3/4 of a straightaway. They said, well, I'm giving it the best I can here right now, but Meyer way too strong with a pair of laps remaining in this one. White flag in the air. Meyer still well in command of the Brett Clegg Motorsports entry here at the Speedway. Rounding the bend the final time. Nick Meyer will cross the line first. He will win it. Bass in second. Connect and Track will complete the running order. So we were talking about racing history, and of course the salute to the 1986 season getting pushed back till June 16th.